video, we're going to discuss a third direction to explore to search for new value propositions. We have already covered reducing clients' overall costs and reducing clients' hassles. We're going to present today the direction that we call find non-clients. Let's first understand what we mean by non-clients with an example. Let's think about business travelers who arrive in their hotel room late in the evening. Most hotel rooms will have a minibar. The minibar will most probably look like this. It's a small fridge hidden behind a wooden door. To find it, you will have to look for it in the room, maybe find the key if it's locked, bend low to open it. And when you open it, you will always find the same boring offer. A few overly expensive drinks and a few fattening snacks. You will find it depressing, and you will only consume when you're really hungry or thirsty, and always with a bitter aftertaste. According to a survey by TripAdvisor, 1/3 of tourists never use the minibar, and 1/4 of them have had disputes with hotel owners about the minibar, even more so when they are equipped with sensors. In other words, using the minibar is such a difficult experience that many travelers, even though they know perfectly well what are minibars, try to avoid them at all costs. They are conscious non-customers. The experience is so painful that they say, "No thank you, this is not for me." Many companies spend a significant amount of time, resources, and management attention to improve further the satisfaction of their clients, the satisfied ones and the less satisfied ones, the soon-to-be non-clients. However, they spend much less time asking themselves, what about the non-clients, those that know about our industry but refuse to use our offer or the offers of our competitors? In most industries, there is a significant amount of conscious non-clients. For example, the wine industry in the US attracts less than 30% of the population, so 70% of non-clients. The highway restaurant industry in France attracts less than 20% of all drivers entering the highway. This is where we suggest to explore by understanding what are the barriers that prevent people or companies to become clients of your industry, to say, "No thank you, this is not for me." And there is a last category of clients, the non-conscious non-clients, who do not even know about us. In this context, we're not so interested by those. In the case of the minibar, thinking this through led the W hotel chain from the Star World Group to invent a new value proposition called the Munchie Box. It's very different from the usual minibar. No fridge, which means no noise and no maintenance, an open box at your hand, no crawling, with an assortment of foods, drinks, amenities, some of these items being specific to the country and location of the hotel. Another interesting example are André Rieu's concerts. First of all, let's watch the following video on YouTube. It's an extract of a typical concert by André Rieu, a Dutch violin player who has created some of the most successful shows in classical music. What have you observed in terms of venue, in terms of ambiance, in terms of what is played? How do the musicians behave? How are they dressed? André Rieu has reinvented the classical concert. He has taken into account many of the barriers that prevent over 80% of the population from attending any classical concert. The venue, which is often difficult to access because it's in the city center. The atmosphere, which is formal, sometimes even pompous. The fun, which is not always there, and has overcome most of them. The atmosphere is friendly. The pieces that are played are entertaining. The musicians and the public are having fun. Lastly, it's interesting to note that a lot of multinational companies are currently exploring this direction when they are trying to launch new products for the poorest consumers, usually called the base of the pyramid. In this process, they are definitely reinventing their value proposition and their value architecture. Shakti Doi by Danone is a nutritious dairy product launched in Bangladesh, and it's a well-known example of such an experiment. As a conclusion, to explore this direction, there are 4 questions to ask yourself. What pushes potential clients to refuse or ignore an offer? So where do they go? What do they do? What are the elements of your offer about which customers are always disappointed? This was our direction number 3. Join us for the next direction called Introduce More Functionality or Emotion.